Hi guys, welcome to this class. Quickly, we'll be learning how to create charts in Power BI. In the last class, we learned how to do a proper cleaning in Power BI. So today we'll be learning how to create a chart in Power BI. Don't forget that when you have issues with your data sets, you can actually go on into transform data where you can edit everything you need. Probably you have issues, and then if your own data set is still showing error, you can actually check on your query here, then delete the error here. So that's that. Then when you are done, you can press or close and apply. Then if you want to view the table here, you can actually check your table view. Check your table view like that. Then for the charts and visuals, you need to understand that there's a template of what you can actually create here, so you can actually click on it, then drag into the values from here depending on the chart. So the chart will determine the kind of values being placed here. Then this your data actually will show the name of your data set, then to actually show your um column head. We get the header. So now quickly let's work with uh, creating of chart. Now, based on this analysis, we are talking about the transport fee analysis, and then this is just for beginners, and we're not be doing too much of sophisticated things like that for the analysis. So for this one now, we're working alongside with the KPIs based on the analysis, and then the KPIs that are very necessary. So I'll teach us three things to actually calculate the KPIs. The first one is using your direct card for your KPI. When you want to use your card, you go to the section of card. When you click on the card, then you drag your values that you want to actually show your card in from your sheet. That's not that you drag your sheet. Mistakenly press something. So you drag your sheets. Okay. So you drag your sheets like that into your value, so you can actually create that. Now if you look at this, now it's showing some of pay. Now based on our analysis, basically we'll be working on something we're working on average national fare, um, minimum national fare, or the highest then the lowest pay. So for this one, let's do the average national fare. So we can actually do it on two ways. After dragging, you can change your values from here: average, minimum, maximum, count down like that. So we have average. Okay. So now take note of this. We have this one being represented in whole numbers, in decimal numbers. So you need to actually change your data into another format, like having it to be on in currency. Then I will want the colored value to actually show the detailed number. So we just go to, instead of you having visuals, you go to the general. Your visuals, you can actually use your colored values to actually show what you want to show. If it's only the average pair you want to work with, you can do that. If you want to work with all of your values, you can do that for the card actually. For your layout, you can actually do that for that. So you can actually go to general, go to data format. Then we have you scroll down a little bit, and you have scroll down a little bit. scroll down a little bit. Then change your format to currency. So when you change the format to currency like that, you do see you have your currency like in dollars, but you can actually change your currency here like this to English, English that has naira, English that has naira. Let's go down. This is C. So, now, yeah. So if you want to change, if you want two decimal place, three decimal place, zero decimal place, two six decimal place, depending on how you want it to show, depending on how you want it to do. So if you don't want your thousand separator, you can actually click on that one if you don't want. But this one you actually change um to so if you want to custom your code, you can actually custom it like this, the way you actually want it. You want to custom depending on how you want it. This is dependent on how you actually want it. Then let's see. English. Let me see. Let me change this one to let's go to Nigeria. English letters and key. Then you can actually work with Naira Pidgin. I think I saw it now. You can work with any of those ones. Any of the any of those ones. Um, that's the average. That's the average stuff, like average pay. So you know these things also, we can actually make it in such a way that you can do it in a different way. For example, when you have your average pay, you might actually have. I'm going to teach us those three ways so that we can get to fix the ones you actually prefer. I can actually have it instead of it having it like that. You can actually have a question, so and then do or you can use your control slash to actually bring it out for speed. You can have this question, then you do average average pay. Take note that when you are writing any point of your questions, it must include your column so that the Power BI can actually relate to your question. So can you see, you can have average data. So you click on this one, make your results show in chart. If you are creating a chart, probably you have a variable. You want to create a variable from there. If you click on that chart, it will actually show you a suggested chart variable like that. So that one can actually speed up your work if you know how to answer the question. But if you don't have the required the chart that is very very useful for you, you can actually change your chart straight up. So this one now can be changed to go to general, go to data format, then you can actually work with currency, then you have English, yes, English. Let's look for naira. Let's check if you can actually get the naira sign for English. Okay, let me go to end straight up. So you can pick any of the naira symbol. So that one works. So let me reduce this to 4,000. So I'll prefer this one. This one is showing this one directly like that, 4066. So now the beautiful thing is that we can copy. Now you know that we are actually working with the average fare. We need to, on our KPI, we are going to be creating the lowest fare, the highest fare. So we can actually copy this, then paste this to copy, then paste. If you want to do it that way, then when you paste, you can just, for speed, one, you can just edit this one to maximum. So you have your 8,000. Then this one you can go to minimum. So you have everything like that. So you don't need to edit and edit and edit. So it depend. This is dependent on how you want to actually work, how you want it to actually work with the speed of light. So it is speed and accuracy. So some people can navigate through another way like that. Even you can actually use um calculated measures. Let me show us how to use calculated measures. For we might not be using it for this um creation of dashboard here, but can actually learn from that thing. So if you see this line, you can see that red line showing if they are aligned together. I'm just arranging them. I'm not creating a dashboard. I just want them to be on the same line so that we can, when I want to work later on, it will not be so stressful for me. Okay. Okay, that's that. For that, we have average fare, we have minimum fare, we have maximum fare. Okay, minimum, the maximum. So we'll be arranging those ones later. Now, don't let me forget that the aspect of calculated measures. Now, if you want to calculate any measure, when you click on this, you can just right click, then you go to new measures. It's just as if you are using your function in Excel. I said the other time, I said whenever you are working in any of the softwares, if you not understand Excel very well, you can actually work with other other softwares. Now we have measures like this measure. You can actually name the measure to be, let me see, average. Let's do average, 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 average pay, depending on how you want it like that. When you get equals to, what you do is, in equals to, in Excel, to when you have equals to, you get your function. So you can actually use your function like that. So when you click on the function, you see you have your column name, then you have your state. So if you have that and you press enter, it will actually calculate your measures. Now, sometimes, like if you click on these measures now, you see, so look at, it's showing your average fare to be this directly as a chart. But I can now change the chart if I don't want. I can make it card. So after creating the first KPI, like the three like that, you can also create for the number of unique routes, because based on the KPI we need to create the number of unique routes. So you can use the card, but instead of wasting much time, you can actually ask the question. That's the fastest way of creating it, so that we can work with the speed of light. Now we have number of unique let me see, unique route or route. Let's see if this one can actually give us a response. If not, we'll sort it out ourselves. Okay, now let me check count of unique routes. Now, so when you have it like that, you can just turn it into your, you can turn it into a card like that. Now I'm just showing the fastest way actually, because this is the latest part of discovery. So instead of you going about picking it one after the other, you can actually pick your card. Don't forget I actually taught you that like you can pick your card, then write you can drag your values here. So to work with the speed of light, you can actually do it this way so that you don't have to actually hold on and wait and like that. So you can actually do it for other things too. But my advice is that when you need to actually understand this chart very well, you need to understand the chart very well. That's why in Excel I told us that we should understand the chart that is suitable for each of the likely problem we can actually face in future. So now, when we are done with the number of routes like that, I think this are the KPIs we have order based on the analysis, and then the brief that we have other things we need to actually show in our reports like average per state or the transport type. So let's try and work with few of those things like that. So two things. We can actually create our own chart and then ask questions. If you know the chart you want to use, you can actually go directly to the chart. But if you want it to actually give you a desired chart, you can actually work with that. So I'll use control slide dash. So I can actually write that. Let's see, let's do for the visuals for the report, average. Don't forget your past state. But this one I'm going to need a map. I'm going to need a map. I want to show it in form of a map because it will be so long. That's the question. Then let me make it big. Past state. Let me see what we have. Average fare past state. You're not having the exact thing you actually want. Let me try state average fare. Now this is where it's now. This one we now. Let's see. Okay, fine. Did you see now? I have a complete set of the details of the average fare per state. So now we have a lot of states like that, and it's giving us suggested this as bar charts. And me, I will not want it to be like that. But you know these things, let's just create it first. Let's create it. Do you see we have this? But you can actually now change your chart like that to make your work very fast. Now, if you look at it, average work per state, we have a lot of states here. I will prefer to use. So let's do map. Let's check if we can have map. Map. So let's see. I have this now. We can actually edit this map actually to our desired stuff, but we'll not be doing the editing now. We'll not be doing the editing now. We can actually do some editing later on. When we go to our visuals, then we go to map settings. We can actually check for map settings and then do a lot of things like that. Style, dark. If you want the dark mode, if you want a light mode, you can actually do that. Show labels. If you want to remove the label, I want to show the labels like that. So all these things can be done here. So you can actually edit anything you want to do from this place. You can actually show your category label like that. Then you can go to general aspect of the map. Then you can reduce your size and all like that. So now data format too, you can actually data format you can actually show the format you want in your data. So but we don't actually need that one here for the visual. So now let's just create this. Let's create this. When we want when I'm ready to do the dashboard, basically I will do the editing. Let's just create all the charts, then we come back and do the editing. Now control slide to ask the next question. I'm just going to create all the charts very fast. Don't forget you can actually create the chart from this, clicking this one, then dragging, but we can actually work with that. Let's do average fare average fare by transport type. Average fare by transport type. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is the average fare by transport type of. So if you now decide to change your chart like this, change your chart like this, and we can actually make it like that. Let me see. Let's see average. Okay. Can this? Let's try the funnel if it can actually work. I would prefer the funnel because the funnel actually shows the hierarchy of the type because they actually look almost on the same like level, almost on the same level. The average fare by transport type. This is the transport type, and then the levels like that actually shows that. So I prefer we use funnel. That's why I said you have to understand the charts and the ones you want to actually show. So I prefer use funnel. So Okada is the first I prefer. So people take Okada, then interstate bus, then Keke Napep, then interstate for luxury bus, then train first class, then train economy, then BRT bus, then that and that. And we can actually see the details. Now, note this: when you are doing when you're showing your report, your major aim is that you need to you can increase this Canva, but I want to you can increase the size of your Canva if you want it to actually show a bigger aspect or you zoom out like this. So now the truth be told when it comes to relating in your dashboard is this that you need to actually understand what you want to show and how easy you can show them. So you can decide not to use my own method. You can decide to use. So this Canva, we are going to we are going to increase it, probably increase it later on. Let me see this if I drop this so I can see better. So now let's go on with other things. The other details are there just because of the stuff. Now let's go on to the next one. Control slash. That's the fastest way we can actually get things to. So now let's do top 10 most expensive, most expensive. Let's see if this will work. Top 10 most expensive routes. Top 10 most most expensive routes. Let's see. Is it route per distance? Most expensive route. That's what is written in our documentation. Top 10 most expensive route. So you see that it's counting the route. It's counting it. It's counting route basically like that. So meaning that we need to actually compare it with something. Rotated by distance or fare. Let's try. Let's do distance. Count of. Let's see. What is it giving us? It's giving us in form of count of routes. We have how many distance. Let's do the one for transport type. So that we have transport type perfect. Okay. Now, if you look at it like normally, now it's saying most expensive route, meaning we need to do the fare and the route. The fare and route that should be top 10 routes. top 10 route per fare. Because it's saying expensive route. It's talking about money. Let's do that again. That's why I said most of the time you can actually change what you want to do here. Expensive route. So let's do it again. Route, route, route. Let me put this route. I put here, okay, let's see. Route per page. Okay, let's see. Now we have it like that the route per fare. Now for this one we have to get this one most expensive route. So we are going to work with the top 10. So we can't get top 10 directly. What we are going to do is that we filter this one. We go to filter, then we go to filter route. We are filtering the route. You click top N, then you write the number. Then if you write the number like that, you need to put in your value you want to filter it with sum of it. So you apply that. So when you apply that, it will actually give you what you actually need for that. So that's that with that. So after being done with this now, um, we'll quickly create the last part of the chart where we have route count per transport type. Now the other chart you can actually create other chart based on your own findings, which I'm going to leave that to us so that we can use our analytical thinking to actually create the chart apart from us following the briefing that we have. So the analytical thinking is that look at the insights you can actually create from the 4 or the 5 columns. Probably you can have your distance or distance over fare with the route, no distance and state or route, and I don't want to actually say specific one so that we not just get like that. There are some other analytical insights findings that we can actually do, or by combining. Probably we have the state and transport type, then we have it with the fare. So that's another thing. So we can actually add that one to your dashboard so that you can have a different like aspect of analytical thinking. But because this is just a basically introduction, so I'll not be doing such that I'll not be doing that exactly so that we not just not understand directly, but we can actually think about things. So now I'm going to create the last one on my own end, very simple one. That is route count by transport fare. So you can do it in two ways. I told you you can actually drag the chart you want to use. You click on the chart. So I'll not use that one. I'll just use donut chart. Then I'll look at values. What did I want to show? I want to show the route. Let's see. I want to show the route. Or let's no, the route count should be in the values. Then I want to show the transport type, like transport type. Then I want it to count the route for me. Is that a distance count or okay? It's normal count. Let me see the distance count is counting 225 itself. So we have count itself. Only count. Now, the reason why I'm doing this way is that you should not rely only on that question. your minds are not straight, like answering the question. So although it will speed up your work, you get. So and then live now, even analysis is how you can work with the speed of light and get your desired result. So let's see. Okay, this is the account. Meaning we have 110%, 9.7%, 9.7. Okay, for that, so I will not be doing too much of editing now. When like editing the type, editing the title and all like that. So if you want to edit it, you can actually edit it from any part. Rename for the visuals. You can use your rename for visuals directly like that. For these other ones, so you can actually when you click on it, go to rename for visuals. You get, but now we are not focusing on that. We just want to learn how to create the chart, and then we'll get back to editing other things like that. So now this is for me. Now I'm done with my chart. This is the chart I'll be using. Now the reason why this one is not popping up, I said that because of the internet. So when the internet is back, it's actually pop up. You understand? So now for the analysis, basically we are told to do the analysis for the relationship of the transport fare in the specific route using different transport type. Now, so it doesn't mean that your chart must actually be so your dashboard or stuff must actually be so big. No, you must be able to relate with your analysis, the aim and the objective, and bring out your insight. So this is what I'm going to be using. Now, apart from using this one, you can actually create your own findings, probably combining or playing around with two of the chart. If you have any insights you can actually add to yours, fine, you can do it. That's why I'm going to be stopping at this part so that it not look as if you guys are just directly lifting up what I am doing. So I'll be leaving this to you. So we have ended up creating the chart for we have ended up creating a chart for this analysis like this. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a wireframe. So after the wireframing, we edit our charts, then we do our dashboard. So the next thing we do is that we do the wireframe. But before we go on to the wireframe, we can actually rename this as the double click on it, charts. Then we can add a new page. You can add a new page where you have dashboard. You know, we are going to use the same place for dashboard and wireframing. Now there's a part where you can actually need to, if you need it actually, depending on the analysis, if you actually want to navigate through different dashboard, home and all like that, it's just navigation. So that one is not, it's not hard. You just bring your button in, then you do your navigation and all like that. But for a beginner's class like this, we'll not be doing something so sophisticated like that. So now so we are done. We are done with this. So we are going to talk about the next in the next class, where we are going to be creating our wireframe. Thank you.